Well, hello. If I sound a little different, I apologize up front. I had a battle with my microphone this morning. The microphone won. So I am just using the speaker out of my computer. But I figured, a lot of guests do it, so it could be okay for an episode.
Oh, there you go. It sounds fine. I'll be honest, it's not bad. I've done what you've done where I'm so concerned. You're so used to having that microphone. It's not as bad as you think. We'll get it fixed.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was really looking forward to my comfy new perch that I was going to be doing my podcast from, but that will have to wait. Things happen in their own time, don't they?
You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
What's going on with you, Dave?
All right. Well, it's funny you say that because I do have some really exciting news, but I will not respond by telling you how great the weather is in June. This has become a running joke, and I don't know if it was funny to Nicole, but it's a running joke with my friends and people that follow the show, and my son who edits the show. And Nicole had asked me off there. She goes, "Don't ever mention the weather. Nobody cares. Don't mention the weather." And I'm like, "All right." And then I think 2 weeks in a row after she said, "Do not mention the weather," she asked me, "What's going on with you, Dave?" And I mentioned the weather. And just you're right over there. So my kid, we do the show, and then I save it, and then he goes in and he uploads the show and makes any changes of anyone wants something taken out. And he goes, "Are you trying to piss Nicole off? Like, she literally told you one request. Don't mention the weather. And you've done it now 2 times since she asked you not to do it." And so I tell the story on another show that I do with my old radio partner that we still do a show, and it has become just a nonstop thing. Oh man, I really love Nicole's show. If Dave wasn't so worried about the barometric pressure, and I've just it has gone on and on of text messages I get and messages I get nonstop about me and the effing weather. And then people mention the famous weather people who have passed away, and this guy's rolling over in his grave, and effing Dave, the whole deal, but it is gone. So no, I will not respond by talking about the weather. That is it. You want to hear my good news?
I do.
All right. I got 2 pieces of good news. One is I have my son who's my best friend who lives in Nashville, Tennessee. He's coming home. He's coming back to Southern California. I'm very excited about that. And the reason he's coming back to Southern California is he's going to be a dad in December.
I love it.
So
congratulations.
So we are really, really excited as a family. We find out tomorrow the sex of the baby, and none of that matters to us. It's just anyone who knows our story, our family story. We needed this. Our family needed this, and so we're really, really excited. Really excited. So
I'm so happy for you. Yeah. When you started talking about Josh, I knew that was coming.
That was.
And I love that he's moving home.
You know what? I didn't think he would come back from Nashville. Like he's been so happy there. He has a house there. And the second he told us he was, they were expecting a baby. I said to my wife, I said, "They're coming home." It was right. That was the only time I ever felt it. And that was it. They said, "Yeah, we're coming back." Her family and obviously his family are here. And they said, "We want the baby to be raised by people who love that baby the most."
Oh, that was my next question. So she is also from that area, the same area. This is everything.
Yeah, very excited.
My cheeks hurt from smiling.
Did you have
smile too much? You're making me laugh too much this morning.
Do you have a feeling one way or another? We keep asking anyone when you find out that they're having a kid. Do you have a feeling one way or another?
Okay, well, I'm not around them in person, so my feeling is just going to be third, from a distance. Yeah. But I'm gonna go with boy. Okay. Because I feel like that would really just fit in with your family. But Josh would be such a good girl dad.
He would be a good girl dad. He would be.
It would be such a game changer for him, and he would be good. So I think you're really, really good either way.
Yeah, we will be. We'll be good either way.
And because anybody who doesn't know, Dave unfortunately lost a son. So when I go to son, but then if Josh has a boy, then you guys are always gonna get the Jake coming back and reincarnated. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna have that. You're always gonna have that. You're gonna be looking at that kid like that. So maybe it'll alleviate some of that and bring a girl and its whole new different energy. But I don't know. Either way, I think it's gonna be amazing.
It'll be amazing. You know, it's funny. They have no problem picking out a boy's name. I'm not going to share on the show because anytime you share names, people will say something. But the girl's name, they cannot come up with a girl's name at all. They keep going back and forth, and it's just to the point of exhaustion. So it's be kind of funny. If it is a boy, they've had such a hard time over the last few months trying to come up with a girl's name they can agree on or even like. Yeah.
That happened to me with my second pregnancy. I was for sure it was going to be a boy. I had the name picked out. I was calling it that. I was ready. And then I went in for that extra 3D ultrasound thing. And I was like, oh, it's not. So back to the drawing board. But at least they've got a little time to figure that out. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So good news for us. So with you, I've been following you. I know you've been busy the last couple of weeks, but it looks like you're running into old friends that I'm watching on social media. I'm seeing you with the people you're very familiar with.
I am. So I have some news. I went for my just my checkup of my ultrasound. I can't even speak. Sorry, my routine ultrasound because I still have to have those done. And they said you need to come back and do a mammogram, a discovery mammogram. We see a mass in the right side. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to fucking be kidding me. So I go, and luckily, here's the good news. This is the medical system that we're dealing with. Okay. So the good news is I had my CT scan already scheduled because it was time for it. I do it every like 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
So I was already scheduled. So I was like, okay, so that's going to take, a number of weeks off the waiting period, because waiting to get an appointment takes weeks. So I already had that scheduled. So I was like, that's great. So I went in, had the CT scan, waiting on the results. They're just so backed up that the radiologists, and they just don't have time to get to it. So I'm texting with my oncologist on cells, and I'm like, you've got to look at it. You've got to get your eyes on it. So he looks at the mammogram or the ultrasound, excuse me. I didn't go in for the mammogram. I'm never doing another mammogram in my life. And it looks like I'll never do another ultrasound ever again either. They're a big waste of my time. And I said, you've got to go look at it. So he looks at the ultrasound. He says, well, it's not 100% cancer. I can tell you that. It's not 100%. And he's like, that's good news. So I was like, oh, is it? So I had to travel, and through the travel, all this, it's like on my mind. And I still never hear back from the doctor's office. And I get back to LA, and I'm like, okay, this is going on like 2 weeks, and I'm getting annoyed. Well, I also had a DEXA scan scheduled, which I have to do regularly. So I went in, it's the same place I got the CT scan. So I'm like, let me have the results. Give me the results right now. And they gave them to me, and I was reading them. And there's things, that are off in my body, but to be expected. But it doesn't say anything about the right breast. It says nothing. It says, all it says is right breast implant noted. So I'm like, well, this is why they never called. No news is good news. But I don't like that style of doctoring. Like, you knew I was worried sick. Give me a call. Shoot me a text message. So ironically, not to bore everybody with medical stuff, but everybody's dealing with this kind of thing. So my insurance, this oncologist is now out of network with my insurance. So my two options were to change my insurance to stay with that doctor, or to find a different oncologist. And I was leaning towards changing my insurance. Now I was like, no, all the signs are pointing to give somebody else another shot. Now that I know that everything is clear, my DEXA scan came back good. I don't have to go back for another 5 years. They said my bones look good. My CT scan is good. So I'm like, I think this is life steering me in a different direction to go out and explore other oncologists. So I just want to, because my daughter was going through that and she was having a meltdown. So anybody who's going through that, I think sometimes if you look at it like it's life guiding you towards something else that maybe is better for you, just always kind of keep that in mind. Stay calm and go with the flow sometimes. The answer will come to you. And for me, it's steering me to go find somebody else. So that's good news that I found out on my own yesterday. So nothing is showing.
Obviously, you're in Los Angeles. I'm in San Diego. I mean, soccer's a big global sport. It's the number one global sport. I'm not a soccer fan, but I love, not only do I love sports, but I love the passion of sports fans, like you were just saying. In Los Angeles, do you feel it right now with the World Cup, with the game has been at SoFi Stadium?
There's just the traffic's been really heavy.
Yeah.
And I've only been here. I've only been back 2 days, a day and a half. So I just noticed that the traffic was heavy, so I probably won't go out there very much.
Yeah.
But I grew up around soccer. My father was a soccer player in Germany and played a little bit for the LA Kickers when that was a thing out here. And I just grew up around his soccer club with all his buddies, and so I have an appreciation for soccer. But I don't watch it. Quite honestly, I don't give a shit. But I love watching all the people and the excitement and the energy. Like it was really fun watching them set up. Like in the morning, they're like pulling out the coolers and setting up the tables. By the afternoon, the police presence is there. The music starts. By the evening, all the people. So it just, I love stuff like that. I love to watch things happen like that. So.
One of the things, and I know maybe it's just a dumb thing for me as a sports fan, watching these games, like in Los Angeles, they're played at SoFi Stadium. For people who aren't aware, that's where the Rams and the Chargers play. It's a turf field. It's indoors, basically. Well, they take the turf out and they put grass in. And they do this also in Dallas, and they put grass inside an indoor building. Is wild to me.
Yeah.
Like, all right, how long can it last before it falls apart? With no sun, kind of a deal.
It lasts for that ceiling opens, right?
No, it doesn't open. But it's not a dark ceiling either.
No, that's what I mean. Like it opens like the sunlight, like a window.
Kind of. It's like a window.
Yeah.
And so
they have those like little portable sprinklers. Have you seen it?
Yeah. It's wild to me. And then when the Olympics come to Los Angeles in 2 years, they're taking all that out and they're building the swimming pool, which blows me away too.
Which my question is, are they going to go above ground and just lift everything up because they have the ceiling space to do it? They're not going to dig a hole and, plaster. I can't imagine they do that. I would think that they're going to bring in some sort of prefab.
Well, then you lose all the seats in the bottom bowl.
You can still lift everything up.
You can't lift the seats up, but you can't lift the seats up. You can't lift the seats up. I think you got to dig a hole. No, you can't.
Like when they do the monster, when they do the dirt biking and they bring all that dirt in, they build up.
Yeah, they build up. But you're here, so you're saying an above ground pool? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I will find out. I'm curious to see how this thing goes. I'm curious to see how this whole thing goes. Anyway, I love sports. It's weird in June, Nicole. Traditionally, this is kind of just baseball, and people go, it's dragging. But you saw what happened in New York when the people in New York went crazy, and they should. It's been 53 years, and you see the World Cup, and you see all the excitement. It's really kind of cool.
I think my son-in-law is still partying from them winning.
Yeah.
He's in New York. He's grown up in New York and has never seen a win.
Never
obviously,
seen it.
Yeah, he's only 28, 27. Yeah. So, and he's a huge sports fan. So, I mean, he was just flying high. So, everybody's cool. It's amazing. I'm so happy for them.
Me too.
Yeah. So you know what I did yesterday that was so amazing? I took Keegan and we went and there's this amazing foundation that does more for the homeless in Los Angeles than any other organization. And they're called Hope the Mission. And they have, so if anybody's ever looking to like volunteer or donate or anything, and they've got retail stores where you can buy like secondhand clothes. They sell products like cookies. They just acquired the pantry in downtown.
Really?
Yeah. And they're going to open that, and it's there because they're cooking. I'm going to get to that part, but they have an amazing kitchen and they have like top chefs. And so they're opening the pantry. They're going to spruce it up, and all proceeds will go to Hope the Mission. But they also they take old rundown dirty motels that like the kind like that you rent for the hour, and they turn them from like crack dens into housing. So they are beautifying at the same time. And a lot, they get some pushback from local people like, oh, a shelter, you're bringing in, shady characters. But the truth is, in these motels that you rent by the hour, that's who's bringing in the shady characters.
Yes.
The shelters are bringing in people who are trying to make a change, and who are in recovery. But they build them all over. And they also do tiny home communities. And what we learned yesterday is that, so for some homeless people, if you put them in a tiny home, they'll thrive. And others will go straight back to addiction because they've got their own little private space. So some of them need to be in like the big open area places. And some of them, like women who experience so much rape when they're living on the street, they really thrive in the private little mini homes because they get to lock the door and be in a safe space. And they're just really amazing. It's an amazing organization. I was really touched by them and just the care in every direction. They are all encompassing. They, any religion, any shape, race, whatever, they bring everybody in. They're kind of rule breakers as far as like how procedures go. Like they will bring you in right away instead of going through all the procedures that the city really kind of makes it difficult around waiting lists and all these things. So they're in a great way, like rule breakers. And they like as far as the food, they taste it and they curate it for whatever the highest population in that little community is. So if there are people who don't like a lot of spicy food, they cook more bland. Like they curate it and they customize everything. And they do things like on Fridays are a really hard day for people in recovery because it's party day, right? So they cook, they bake all these sweets and treats. And they play music and like make an environment for people on Fridays so that the mental illness rate that they watch, it came down, like it decreased and people thrived. And they're really it's really thoughtful. It's huge. They look at every detail. They educate people and get them jobs. People are making like $150,000 a year salaries that come out of there. Like they are educating these people and giving people a new chance at life. And it is such a beautiful thing. So, and they're all across California. So hope the mission, it's just, they are doing God's work.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Great. Good deal. I feel weird jumping into television talk. You just gave something so serious. I just want to, all right, so what about Rhode Island? And I feel like I'm so callous just saying that, but that's pretty incredible.
Rhode Island. So I watched the final episode. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Okay. I just let's talk about Rula and everybody telling her that her husband is in this affair. He is lying to her face. This is happening. We know now after shooting that he obviously was, and he was arrested for domestic violence because he put a tracker in her car. And she's left him and she has a restraining order, a no contact order on him. But through all of the filming, she really kept stone face and she really kept defending him. Yeah. And I'm like, listen, I've never been in that situation. So I don't want to judge because, unless you've walked in somebody's shoes, And of course, everybody deals with everything differently. But what a strong woman that she just stayed brave face. But does that make for good TV? I'm just like, I kind of wanted her to turn to him and like put him on the spot a little bit.
I think some people, they don't want to know the answer. You know what I mean? They kind of like, I maybe my head tells me I'm smart enough to know something's going on, but if I basically turn the lights on, then I can't run from it or act like it's not there. And I don't know. I like it is so weird. I've known people and I've known marriages where I know the wife knows that husband's cheating, and they say, as long as they don't do it in front of me or my kids and embarrass me, when they're out, I don't want to think about what they're doing when they're out. And they kind of let it go either for the family or for their own peace of mind. Financially, they're afraid of things. It's always seemed strange just because I couldn't live that way, But I don't know. It's kind of weird what you're willing to go with. At the same time, I'd be so nervous as a partner of somebody that I thought maybe could be, not putting my head in the sand, thinking, what if they bring back some disease back to me, or
Right. Well, my concern would more be that they got somebody else pregnant.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of women also are kind of like, good, if he's getting sex somewhere else, I don't have to do it with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
I think there's that aspect too. But
I've heard that too.
With her, I don't think she prides herself on being a smart lady, which she is. I think out of the group, she is one of the more intelligent. She's got some kind of like degree. She's an educated woman. I think she knew and wanted to know, but she was saving face for the cameras.
Then why sign up for the show?
Yeah, that part. Because we find out she took her car to BMW. She said he said a few things that triggered me and thought he was following me. Somehow he's tracking me. So he like blew his cover somehow. And she took the car to BMW, and BMW came back to her and said, we can't touch this car. Take it to the police station.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think she was doing her own investigation behind the scenes.
Yes.
But just playing for the cameras, like just smooth this over. And I think maybe, and this is just me going to a place, maybe he said to her, don't make me look like a fool. Don't make me look like the bad guy, and we'll have an easy divorce or something like that, or I'll take care of you. Maybe, like, could that be? Because I'm trying to think, why are you saving face with him? Why are you making yourself look like the dodo instead of, opening up the curtains and saying, okay, this is what I'm dealing with?
Yeah, no, good point. It's almost amazing to me in the history of these shows that you see so many marriages that break apart because they went on these shows. Yeah. Like it's a huge risk of going, hey, you know what? The fame thing looks cool. The money's not bad, but you're going to really take a chance of blowing your normal family. Like, are you ready to do that? And because history will show you these couples don't stay together after these shows.
Yeah, a lot of it. Well, what's in the dark comes to light, right? So anybody that's doing anything shady really comes forward.
To the point they get arrested. I mean, that's the craziest thing. Why would he go on a TV show when you're breaking the law? Like you're committing felonies.
But it's such good TV. So
for us, it's great. But for them, it's like, where was your head?
Yeah, but I don't know. People have no logic. But that goes with like a criminal mindset anyways. Like they're obviously not thinking correctly. No. If you're a criminal and you're doing these things, and most of them are pretty petty, except for Jen Shaw. Most of them are like pretty petty. They're not like hiding bodies in the basement. No. They're, so it's like they're just dumb enough to do it. So Rhode Island. Wow.
Yeah. I did like the show. You got me to watch it, and I did like it. I'm not gonna tell you anything different. Like I was like, oh boy, because it was harder to find, for me. And then I found myself just watching one after another. And I've been to Rhode Island. I mean, not like stayed days. I kind of just took a train through it when I was going from Boston to New York, and it's beautiful. I got it. I can't see myself living in Rhode Island. Like I could see myself living in Atlanta. I don't know about Rhode Island, but I could see myself living in Atlanta. The girls were interesting, and there's one girl on the show who was, it was entertaining. Like every time she was on, she had no command of the English language.
Alicia cannot pronounce anything. She's like Teresa 2.0 from Jersey.
My gosh.
So the final episode, she's talking about that she was sick. Like when her husband or soon to be husband had proposed to her, it was while she was like sick, and she always bitches about like she hated the proposal. And so she's talking and she goes, I had a sore throat and I needed a fudgicle. And I'm like, it's a fudgesicle. And I was like, she really, truly cannot speak the English language. You were 100% right on that. She mispronounces something in every episode, and something very silly and obvious.
She didn't know the plural version of foot. I mean, it was he's rubbing a lot more than foots. And I'm like, oh boy. And then She was something else. Even the homeless thing was crazy. Where she's, where she says we were homeless, and then the girl immediately snaps at, I grew up with you. You weren't homeless. And she goes, well, we weren't in the same home I was in, and then we had to go to my grandmother's home. That's not being homeless. And then they're going back when they just starts crying in the car, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, she doesn't understand the gravity of the word
Yeah.
homeless. She should have said my father took my childhood home from me.
Yes.
Yeah, but instead she says we're homeless. Yeah, it was a huge blow up.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. It was entertaining as shit. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I liked it. I did. I liked the show.
Well, it's coming back. It's definitely coming back for season 2. So we will have that. And there's a lot of shows on right now. The Love Islands. So Love Island USA is on and Love Island UK is on. Okay. And I got to tell you that the difference between the two, I feel like I should have raised my kid in the UK. Is it too late? Can we move? These kids are so much more emotionally intelligent, so much more respectful. They think kissing is like a big deal. They're like, if you kiss somebody else, this is a big deal. And they're, weeks in and they're just starting to kiss. The USA, off the bat, first episode, humping each other, humping strangers, people they just met. It's pornography. And it is wild. The night and day difference is a little bit sad. Every guy in there's a liar. Whereas in the UK, they're just so honest and open and so respectful of each other's feelings. And it's my favorite show. I would take the UK one over the USA. Although I'm hooked on both, but garbage, absolute trash TV. Trash at the bottom level.
Oh my God,
really low on that show.
Oh my gosh.
So do we have mailbag?
Let's get to the mailbag. Let's grab it. So again, Nicole's mailbag. This is your opportunity to ask questions straight to Nicole. All you have to do is go to the website, perfectlytwistedpod.com, and the mailbag is at the top of the screen. So we have 5 questions from Madison today.
Oh, Madison.
It's funny. Her first question fits right in with today's show. It says, Nicole, what is the last game show you'd go on?
I just did it.
Yeah.
Next to Jeopardy, I just did it. The Weakest Link. These trivia shows, they're rough.
Oh my gosh.
They're rough.
Oh my gosh. That's I tell you, for me, it's strange. It would be Wheel of Fortune. I can never play Wheel of Fortune. I can do Jeopardy much easier than I can do Wheel of Fortune. I don't know what it is with how I look at words.
Hard. That's hard too. Yeah, you're right. I played Wheel of Fortune and I think I won.
Yeah.
I think I went on Wheel of Fortune. I went on one of those where you had to guess the or maybe it wasn't Wheel of Fortune, but it was one that you had to guess like that and put finish the sentences. And I won. So but I was also smarter when I was younger. I hadn't killed so many brain cells.
It's the one I was laugh at that I can't believe it was a success was Card Sharks. All you had to do is go higher or lower. You remember that?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, how dumb. This has to be the dumbest game in the history of games. And yet it was on for years.
50-50 chance, right?
Yeah. It was ridiculous. Yeah. 2 thumbs up, 2 thumbs down. It was insane. Anyway, God, we're dumb. All right. Do you know anyone who has ended a friendship because of someone's sexual orientation?
Oh, God, I hope not. I don't think so. No, nothing like that is popping to mind. No. Okay.
I'm trying to think if I have or not. I don't either. Have you ever told your daughters that they can't be friends with someone?
Ooh. No, because I feel like when you tell somebody no, it makes it, especially for kids, I feel like it makes it more attractive. And I think that my kids really sort of navigate pretty well, and they really sort of know good people from bad people, and they surround themselves with, they make good choices. So no, I haven't had to do that at all. Have there been some friends where I'm like, kind of like gritting my teeth, but that's just because they're teenagers and teenagers can be annoying. But no bad characters. That they've never brought anybody home that I was no.
I've never told my kids, I couldn't be friends with someone, but I've kind of hinted at the fact that there are better people out there, kind of a deal, not without saying it, but kind of playing the game a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. It's funny is I think just what you said, just because of thinking of my sister, that would 100% push my sister to hang out with that person or more.
That's what I think.
Yeah, my sister would. I wouldn't. My sister would, though. I know 100% would. Like,
I think if we were put in that situation, I think the better route would be to say, like, do you think that their choices are like the best? Do you think this and that? But I don't know. Keegan can be a little like judgy. Like she'll like one person. She's like, but the crowd that person hangs out with is like, they do this and that. And she's like, I don't want to be part of that. So I feel like she's very kind of particular, and I admire that. So I don't think she doesn't need a lot of guidance like that. Thank God.
What's that old saying? Show me the 5 people you hang around with the most, and I'll tell you who you are.
Yeah.
And that's. I mean, it's very real.
It can be, but also like, that people go through growing pains and changes. And sometimes you're, especially when you're young, you need to be like, you don't want to be by yourself at school. Although I always try to tell her it's better to be by yourself and learn to be happy in your own skin and sitting by yourself than to be around people that you don't enjoy being around. But you can't take the teenager out of them, right? And so sometimes they're in crews where they're like, I want to find a different group. And I hear kids, and a friend of mine's kid had just said, I had to like find a new group of friends. So I think that, things come and go. So you can't always judge everybody at all times on who they are around.
All right. Next question is, Nicole, have you ever bought something from a yard sale or a swap meet?
Oh, that's all I do. We are very much about the environment here in this home. And so we mostly buy secondhand. And if anybody sees like what fast fashion is doing to the planet, you would probably also do the same. I have a teenager with a shopping addiction, as most teenage girls do have. So, A, it's more affordable, and B, the guilt is gone when on the weekends we go to swap meets and we go to flea markets, and you can really find great stuff. And trends change. So anybody that's like thinking about it, fashion comes and goes. So when you find an original from so if the 80s are in, let's just say, and you find something original from the 80s for $20 instead of a remake of something that was made for $60, I mean, it's a win-win. Not only is your outfit cooler, you spent less money, and you're helping save the planet. It's the best. And the hunt for cool things, and you see people with really cool style, and you meet really friendly people. It's a totally different experience. So we love doing that. That's what we do on the weekends.
Last question from Madison. Nicole, have you ever called the cops on someone?
Unfortunately, I have had to. I have had to twice. When I was younger, I found comfort in abuse. Like, I found myself in a lot of abusive situations, and there'll be more to come on that. I'm starting to talk about it and write it down, and, help other people not feel so alone in this. So there was a pattern in my life, and it started from childhood, where I was just always comfortable in abusive relationships. And, let's just say I've had my ass kicked pretty bad a couple times by some guys. And so I think one time, two times I called them.
Well,
one of them I was really fearing for my life. The other one, he just was so big that it was just scary as shit. And the other one, I really, really was fighting for my life, and it was really, really scary. So yeah. But I'm not a cop caller normally. Like, I don't call cops on other people. If I had to intervene and call 911 because there was violence happening or an accident happening, something like that. But I, for the most part, don't get too involved in calling the police.
Jeez, I think the only thing I've done is on my neighbor, those 3-day parties that just last 3 straight days, sun up, sun down. Mariachi bands, DJs, the whole deal. And never does it once a year, and they're 3 days at a time. It's insane.
Did they not come and bring it? I always, when whenever I had like a big home and we always had big parties and we lived in like, neighborhoods, if somebody was going to have a big party, we would go to the neighbors and leave them like a basket or a bottle of wine or something and a note saying, sorry, here, hope this makes up for it kind of thing. They don't do that?
Nope. Actually, matter of fact, I live in a weird, I live in a little bit of a weird neighborhood. I live in a neighborhood where like this is not people's main home. Like I have a few neighbors like that. Like the guy I'm talking about who's behind me, he just sold the house, thank goodness. But he's been going on for like 10 years. And he lives out of the country, but this is his United States home.
Oh, I see. So it's like a vacation party home.
It is, and it goes on like loud, like you wouldn't believe. Like you think the party's in your house. And I know I'm not joking. It's like the mariachis come in, they're gone. Then there's a live DJ. Then there's a live band.
You and I are so different. I would be so hyped on that. I would be so excited. I would be throwing my own party to that music for 3 days straight. I would totally thrive off the free entertainment.
It never 3 straight days never stops. And
I'd be so into it. I would be
my God. You could shut all the windows and all the doors and you can't hear your own TV. It's so loud. So and you can't sleep, that's for sure. And the little lights everywhere, the whole deal. So finally I call the cops. I'm like, dude, it's like 3:30 in the morning. I go there and can you go by and say, hey, it's 3:30 in the morning? Nothing. They don't do that. So finally I'm like, hey man, I heard gunshots. that was my out was, oh shoot, gunshots. We better go over there. But yeah, I couldn't get even the cops to show up. Yeah, it was, but it went on.
Get in trouble for that, Dave, lying to the.
Hey, I don't know. Maybe I did hear gunshots. Might have been in a song. I don't know. Maybe I was watching Law and Order too loud and I heard gunshots. Either way, I heard gunshots. I didn't say it came from there. I just said I heard gunshots. What am I going to do?
Very funny.
That was my situation.
We're adding Dave the party pooper to the list.
3 days is too long. Can you imagine if I had like we just talked about a baby? Can you imagine having a baby? Trying to put a baby to sleep and you got that music going.
I love it. What are you talking about? Babies like I used to put the vacuum on and the babies would fall right asleep. Yeah.
We did the vacuum with my oldest son. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Madison, appreciate the questions. Those are great. Again, perfectlytwistedpod.com. Mailbag's at the top of the screen and we'll get your questions on.
Thanks for joining us. Dave the party pooper and Nicole signing up. See you next time.